Hi, welcome everyone. I'm Theresa Quary with the Family Focused Resource Center and also the facilitator of the Black and African American Support Group. And I'm here with my sidekick, Yemi, and she'll introduce herself.
Hi, everyone. My name is Yemi Robinson-Childs. I'm a supervisor here at North LA Regional Center in the Transition Department, and I co-facilitate with Theresa for the Black and African American Support Group. And welcome.
So, a little bit about our support group. We have been in existence since July 2020. And now here we are in February 2026. We mostly, yes, we meet via Zoom. We had the pleasure of meeting in person 2 weeks ago. It was about 18 of us met in person at a restaurant in Santa Clarita. So the group really is about just making sure you have a safe place to want to talk about what you're going through right now with yourself, with your family, with maybe the school, with maybe even regional center. But it's a safe space to be able to feel like you're connected and to also know that you're not on this journey alone. We have families that attend that have children ages 3 and up. We actually have someone that attends and her child is in their 50s. But then we have families that attend that may have a child that's 4 or 5. So because of that, we share different information, but the conversation is really geared around how can we support you and what you would like to hear from us, and also as well.
In saying that, I'm going to pass it to our group to introduce themselves.
Okay, I guess we'll start here. Hi, I'm Ruby Odinma. I'm a freelance journalist and host and also a birth doula. I am happy to be here today to talk about Black and African American Support Group, who has really helped me with my son, and being a mother of 4. I have so many things that are going on in my life, and that's the most important, and this group has been very supportive in that, and so I'm happy to be here today.
I'm also glad to be here as well. My name is Angèle Cade, and I am the mom of Andon. He's been with the Regional Center since he was bedside in the NICU, and Theresa, this group, has been with me for a major part of this journey. And so I'm so glad to contribute and share whatever I can. I also want to say that to Theresa being a fairy godmother of the group, my son is 15, and when he started Regional Center, it was bedside in the NICU. And when he was it was the eve of him turning 3 and the eve of him having his first IEP in preparation for services that would be in the school district. And someone was like, you have to talk to this lady, Theresa. And so I called her. It was literally the end of the day. I don't know if she remembers this. It was the end of the day. I could hear her wrapping up her desk and getting ready to leave. And the want in my voice that was like, I am a struggling mother who has no idea what to do. And it is the eve of the IEP, and I don't even know where to start. And someone said to call you. And she literally was like, come to my office. Let me give you this folder. Ask these questions. And when it comes to advocacy, I love what you said, because she taught me in that moment, when I go into this meeting, humanize my child. And she said, bring his picture and put it on the front of this folder so that every time they begin to talk or every time the conversation shifts, you remind them why we're here. And just doing that one thing felt so empowering and so powerful. And she will never know how much she impacted our journey from the very, very beginning. But that is what it means to be a village. That is what it means to plug in when you don't know what to do and somebody's willing to say and advocate and raise their hand and say, you know what, come and I will take care of you. And so it's that beginning portion of our journey that's brought us here, where 12 years later, we are still with her. She's still part of our village. She's invited to every birthday party. But, you know, I mean, we're a village of aunties and uncles, and you know what I mean? Like, this is what it means to have this type of, you know, Black support group to exist, because she doesn't know, but it existed before this was ever formed. And so that's the evolution and the legacy that we're walking into.
Thank you so much, because I totally remember that. And I do share, because some of that is from my journey. And my girls are now 25 and 27. So I remember someone just mentioned how we always are finding those deficits in our child. They can't do this, they can't do this. And I remember, I think it was either a regional center questionnaire or somewhere, I had to fill out the strengths, and I was stuck. But the challenge is, I had probably 50.
So many.
And then I went, something's wrong here. She has so many different strengths. So I had to start pulling it out. And I said, I have to share that, because our children are more than their disability or their diagnosis.
Yes, they are.
At the end of the day, they're kids. And so, and that's why I think I fight so much, or push so much, about the resources and being involved in the community. And making sure that the community understands that our children belong.
Yes.
Yes.
And you have to, not me shift towards what works for you and makes you comfortable. No.
Hi, my name's Elisa Vega. I am happy to be here. This group has been tremendous, although I just joined a couple months back with all type of resources. So I'm just glad to share. My son's name is Noah, and he is 7 years old. One of my favorite events that I've participated in so far was the holiday event that you guys did back in December in Antelope Valley. I made it a point to go, and it's just like sometimes when I go, I'm always like on edge, like, okay, what is my son going to do? But when I actually went in, and then I was like, oh, we have a sensory room for him to go to. He's safe. Like, I don't have to say excuse me or I'm sorry to another mom. Everybody understood exactly what I'm going through, because they have their own struggle, and it was okay. It was a safe environment. So that was just so important to be able to have that opportunity for my son and for other kiddos too, like that. So thank you.
Yeah.
I'm Salome Kalule Kasozi. I'm a behavior analyst, but most importantly, a mother of a special needs child, age 14. This group has been very helpful. I've been here from the beginning, never left. Every time I miss a meeting, I feel so bad. So I'm glad to help out any way I can for the sisterhood. As special parents, it's quite interesting. We could have family, but most of the times, even our families don't understand us because there is no manual on parenting a special child. There's no manual of parenting a child, but then there is no manual in parenting a special child. So the norm of parenting differs when you have a special child. I'll give a very practical example. When a kid is throwing a tantrum, to a typical child, you have to talk to them, you have to lecture them. To a special child, you have to be quiet and extinct the behavior. But as you're being quiet and everyone around is watching, they are really judging the parent more than they're judging the child. So even on family, like Christmas parties or whatever, most of the times our kids are not invited. So we really are isolated. Live alone being Black parents, but just being a parent, it's so hard at having a special child. So having a place where you're invited to a party, you're invited to a Christmas party. There was a time you did the Christmas presents. And I was like, wow, it means something. There is a backpack for going back to school. Like, it really meant a lot, because even just with a backpack, our finances are so stretched because speech is expensive. Talk about hiring an advocate for an IEP. They're very expensive. So knowing that we have a place to go or the resources that are there is very helpful. And this support group has been very helpful.
Thank you so much for sharing. And that's the goal of the group, is to really connect with other families and to understand that they're not alone going through the journey. And just last weekend, we met in person. It was about 18 of us. We met at a Chili's and we just shared resources, share how we were feeling, connecting with others. And what was really nice is at the end, there were connections. Some of the moms, and we had a dad, which I thought we were going to scare off because it was 17 women and one dad, but he stayed to the end. And so that's the whole goal, is just supporting you and making sure that Yemi and I are here to help you through the journey. And as a mom, myself, I have 2 girls that are older now. I can't share much about them because they have asked that I don't share their background. But it was really nice to have support of different groups. But there wasn't a group of color. And so I was really happy that in 2020, when we started this, it was a very difficult time because it was COVID. And so a lot of families were really stuck at home. That's why we were able to start via Zoom. So with that, we have decided, Yemi and I, we start with an icebreaker. So today's icebreaker is, because this is February, it's Black History Month, what does Black history mean to you? So jump in there. And that's something that we also do in the group. It's just a kind of round table. You want to share? That's fine. If not, that's okay as well. But I'm hoping someone will share.
Okay, I'll go fast. What does it mean? Identity. It's kind of a belonging. It's where we are. It's who we are. It means resilience. No matter what you go through, you can come out the other side. It means culture. We are a people. And culture. We have a culture. Inclusiveness. It's to tell people that we are a people, but we are not just a people. We are all the same. And it also means acceptance.
I think for me, Black history, initially I think you had talked about like kind of 5 words and what does that mean in that context. And immediately what came up for me was it cannot be erased. And that was the first thing that came up for me, because we're in such a time where there's so many targeted things that come up that try to change or erase a history that really cannot. And so as a people, as a culture, a lot of what transcends historically is about what we share, how we commune with each other, being able around the table, around the Zoom, wherever it is, just a part of us is what it means to have this verbal history that we keep alive in how we communicate about our struggle, about our overcoming, about our victories, about our wins. And so this to me is what it represents.
But that's the one thing about the group. You share when you feel like sharing. You're in a safe space. And that's the other part of the group. But I wanted to just piggyback off of something you said, Angel, because when we started the group in 2020, it was during COVID. And it was also, and it's not being political, but this was also the time when there was George Floyd and everything that was going on in Minnesota. And I bring this up is because we had so many moms that have sons that were very concerned. If you have a child on the spectrum, what does that look like? If they're running to an officer, and maybe they may look like they're 18, but their mentality may be at the age of 7. So there were really moms that were very, very nervous about that. And they said it was nice having a safe space to talk about that. And I remember, I believe if it wasn't October of that year, it was a few months later, I had invited a lieutenant from the LAPD to come out, who is now a commander, I believe with the Topanga station, and to talk about that and what does that look like and how are their police trained. So these are conversations like this where we can't maybe have every person come in to present that the group may request. We try to do the best we can. If not having the presentation, maybe having the information. So there's a lot of layers to having a group like this. But the part is to support the families, to better support their children and those at home.
And I think that it's essential when we look at organizations that support our needs, that this group allows the organization to be presented as culturally sensitive. So it allows a safe place for us to get language, get insight, get direction, get wisdom on how to navigate in spaces that aren't naturally culturally sensitive to what we have to deal with. So I think that also is just a huge benefit of why we exist.
And I would say too that the fact that we've never had a support group for the population of our community of African American consumers and family, because we have about 22 consumer and families with North LA Regional Center. That's a good amount of families. And for being here for this many years, it was kind of surprising we've never had a support group. And I can speak that as being a CSC and being now a supervisor now for 10 years, it was like, how do we not have a support group for this many years? So when I brought, and I will share this and I have complete transparency in regards to it, I brought to my former chief, who now is a executive director at a different regional center, I said, we need to have some type of support group. This is again during George Floyd, and because we didn't talk about it. No one was talking about it. And I was having families reaching out to me. He's like, you know what, let's connect with Theresa. And Theresa and me, she's like, Theresa had the same idea. I was like, let's start this. And we just came together. And honestly, we were just so surprised when we ran the numbers in our system of how many families we had within our actual NLACRC catchment area, from Santa Clarita down to Antelope Valley and San Fernando. And we were like, wow, we do not have a support group.
And I think that's a testament to what we're used to doing, which is, being separate, feeling alone, fending for ourselves, trying to claw for resources and figuring it out. What does this mean to change the normal of what it looks like for us to share? Because there are resources that exist. There is not a limitation. If you get it, I can't get it. So what does it mean for us to show up and say, you know what, I have this and I'm willing to share it because there's plenty for us to get. And so that's the difference. And that's the uniqueness about this group in comparison to other groups that have existed. They flow differently. And so we're coming against other inherent factors and biases and things that we're dealing with that we have to navigate through to ensure that our children are getting access to everything that is available to them.
Yeah. And I just want to piggyback off of you because that's true. We don't know where to find the resources or who to call or who to contact. Maybe we meet someone on the way because my son, he's 7 and he's 7 now, but when he got diagnosed with autism, I didn't know anything about regional center, anything about services, anything to help me raise him but luckily my coordinator ended up being a nice Black lady and introduced me to this group. And I don't think I would have gotten that information if it wasn't for her being another African American woman having special needs child and saying, hey, there's these groups, there's the support, there's this, join. And the stuff that's in this group, the resources that you guys are sharing, the information, we need that. It's not available. It's available, but we don't have access because we don't know. So that's why groups like this are so important. And like you said, it took so long. I mean, I'm glad I wasn't in that time. I'm glad I hopped in, and those parents probably feel like, oh man, but anyway.
Well, I'm glad you brought that in about hopping in, because that's one thing with the group. You don't have to show up every month. New people come in. Some people go, pop out. And I've heard some parents say, oh, I missed the group. Oh my gosh, did I miss something? If they did, we'll just share that information. But you can come in when needed. Because North LA County covers Antelope Valley, Santa Clarita, as well as San Fernando, we're able to now connect families with all in the different areas. I will say there is definitely a difference. I work for Family Focused Resource Center, and so as their outreach coordinator, I'm in all those different areas. and I hear the difference for services that are available. And I even just being there on the streets, boots on the ground, there's definitely a difference. So when we come together and we're all sharing at our meetings, you can even hear that difference, because I'll hear someone say, oh, they have everything in San Fernando. Oh, they don't have much in AV. And then you have Santa Clarita. So even with that, just sharing and seeing, that's an eye opener, but trying to find those resources that are in all the areas as well. And I think Regional Center is definitely working to find more vendors that can overlap into different areas, so no one is really feeling that slight, because we do hear that a lot. And that's where we try to come in and try to find those vendors that are overlapping, so it shouldn't feel that separation, Yeah.
And I'm just to let you guys know, my role is, and I always say this, people always say, being a supervisor, coming to the support groups, I think I'm probably the only supervisor that goes to the support groups. And I'm probably the only one. Because the connection for me is personal to a certain degree. Because the day is, my purpose is to serve. Not because it's not my job. It's after hours. First of all, I'll tell you, it's after hours. But more importantly, is to serve, because again, I'm hearing there's not supports in the different offices. So yes, Salome and I'm not going to throw her out. She'll email me, and I'm like, okay, let me help you connect. Because again, I give an opportunity to let's follow to make sure we're serving your son. That is what we're here to do. We're a resource center. We're not here to I give everyone grace to follow up. Our leadership team is now making sure we follow up on those resources. We're making sure that we have support groups for all, again, cultures, because again, we're a diverse community, but more importantly, we're growing. The fact that we're having a podcast right now, the fact we have cameras, we have one fax machine and brown charts, okay? We're in a different time now. So the fact we're here now, we're growing, but more importantly, we have to understand we need to support, and we need to have the resources to support our families. And we're developing, but please understand, I'm always going to be here to connect you. But I tell you guys, Theresa is your fairy godmother. I'm over here just like, whatever you need, let me know. Teresa's like, can you find my, okay, I got it, Theresa. She's the fairy godmother of resources. I don't know how she does it, but in the days, I tell you now, I really, I can't, when she said 5 years, I said, wow, 5 years?
6 years.
What?
It'll be 6 years in
It's gonna be
July,
6.
because it'll be 2020.
5.5.
We started July 2020, because I remember it's during COVID, and when they asked Regional Center about facilitating this group, I was thinking, well, I need a group. It's COVID. The world had sort of paused. It didn't, and it was all over the place. So I kind of went in green. We did, but I did want to say, because I know that this also was the vision of a parent that was on the board. So I do want to give her
Yes.
that knowledge, that this was something that a parent that was on the board with Regional Center had been, really rallying around, and it took some time, but it's here, and it is here now, almost 6 years in July.
Yeah.
And this is kind of way the group, we start usually with an icebreaker. It starts at 6:30. Families, we know that's a time where there may be cooking dinner or trying to get homework started. But we just say, just come in. Kids is in the back. We have sometimes we will have a child that's ducking in the Zoom meeting, and we just say hi and welcome everyone. Sometimes we will have a presenter, and that's something that we just give them a little time, not so much to sell a product, but maybe just definitely educating and sharing something that could help you as well during the journey. And then after we usually, if we don't have a presentation, we just open it up, because it's really your group. We're the facilitators, but you pretty much kind of make the group start. And we've had some discussions, even talking about hair. Once it was a discussion came up about our kids' hair. You wouldn't think that could be a discussion, but with a child with special needs, it may be a little difficult for them to learn how to brush their hair, how to put, and we know as our culture, hair is an extension of who we are.
Yes.
And so trying to put your hair in a ponytail, brushing your hair, that's all sensory. And so someone brought that up, and boy, was that
I think we started till like 9 o'clock or 9:30.
that was such a, it was
that.
relevant to,
Yes.
and it made me start thinking. I went, I remember having some challenges. Actually, as the girl became a little older, because why they weren't able to just do certain things, but that is a lot of moving pieces. And so, so our discussions can be basically exactly what you all come up with, and we just go from there. And then the next month's meeting, same thing, can be different. So we want to encourage you to always come back, as well as bring a friend. We love if you bring a friend. We know a lot of the group is talking about meeting more in person. This last meeting, it was in Santa Clarita because it was nice to have it in the middle where families could come in from AV or San Fernando. And I'm sure Chili's was not expecting, even though I said 15, to have 18 of us there. They wanted to make sure we were comfortable. So more to come. And let's just,
I was going to say, we're going to 2026. It's now in February, Black History Month. We know kind of discussed this. I think we discussed this in January as well. Topics or presentations you guys would like to have in the future. We know we kind of discussed self-determination. We had our executive director come in to do a presentation. And then we had our dental consultant come in as well. And then I think we had also employment was very popular as well. Are there any other topics or presenters you would like to?
social rec.
Social
rec. Social rec.
Okay. Social rec.
Conservatorship, social rec,
Okay.
living trust, like what happens, that's usually
Especially-
a fear that we all have.
Okay.
Yeah,
That we never
special
bring up.
needs trust.
Special needs trust.
Yes, specifically and how it works with your existing trusts. That's a huge topic. I think a lot of people just don't understand
Okay.
and kind of regulate to having a certain amount of assets and don't realize how much it impacts your child and the access that they have to resources based on benefits and assets.
But in the special need. Okay.
Yeah, those are all. And I think also revisiting the things that are, kind of the same offenders, right? The IEPs, the advocacy, the, navigating, those spaces as well. And also the difference between benefits from school and benefits from the center. I think that there's some misunderstandings of where something stops and where something starts and what the expectation is for parents. So I think those are also
Okay.
good things.
From the IEP perspective, from the school district?
Yes.
Okay. Got it. Okay. Got it.
And I hear from some parents that, the support group is more for parents to have older kids. The group is open for all ages. And again, what happens is each month, it depends on who's in the group. And then we try to, that night, really have the conversation around sort of who's there. Because I remember, if I was talking to, I had a 3-year-old and I'm talking to someone whose child was 18. I'm like, well, I'm not there yet. That's a lot of information. It would almost sometimes even scare me a bit because I'm like, there's a lot going on. And that's another thing. We realize a lot of challenges are happening at home right now. And so different layers. So we like to share even housing information. Where are food pantries? How to access a lot of the different services from IHSS, SSI, all these acronyms. But you'll find out more what those acronyms are when you come to the group.
On Wednesdays.
On Wednesdays at first Wednesdays of the month, 6:30 to 8:30. There are some meetings, as I mentioned. We usually take a break July and August and in January. But the other meetings, the other months, myself and Yemi, or sometimes we may have to change it up a little, but it is shooting for Wednesdays at 6:30. We also encourage the families to get involved with Regional Center, attend the board meetings. There's a lot of different meetings. The flow of the meeting usually after we either have a presentation or we're just talking in general, we close out the meeting, we talk about what's to come, maybe hopefully for the next meeting, and then that's it. That's pretty much, we just,
I did want to make something,
Sure.
even when you don't attend the meeting, one of the things that I appreciate is that you all take all of the resources that you've gathered, you take all of the flyers and events, you take all of the, information that was downloaded, presentations that were made, and you send them out to everybody. So even when you're not present,
Yeah.
you're able to connect to the resources and download that information, register for the upcoming things. I love the touch points. I think that the accountability of connecting to the resources and registering for the things, that's kind of the in the face type of support that's needed. And I think that to me is one of the huge benefits of being part of the group. So even if you can't attend all the meetings,
Right.
if you're at least connected on the mailing list and connected to the group, you're a benefactor of such rich information. So that's important.
And thanks for sharing
Yeah,
that.
that's all
because
Theresa.
That's
all
some of what
Theresa.
we also
Yeah.
learned through Family Focus, thank you, is that we know that families, a lot of our workshops may be during the day, so we record them and you can watch them on demand. So some of the same information you were sharing that you would like to have is the conservatorship, special needs trust. We have that on our website. And that way you can watch it on your own time. And what else makes it nice because then you can pause, take notes, maybe get ready for your meeting. And these are all little tips that help to be prepared for either your IEP meeting or if you're going to meet with someone to talk about special needs trust or conservatorship. Because a lot of times at our meetings, that's a lot of information being shared by the presenter. And then you're like trying to take notes and it's like, okay, now what? But at least you have the connection, but it's also nice if it's recorded. So with saying that, we do not record our support groups because this is not intended to be a business meeting. It's a support group. So support group, they're not recorded because it's a safe space. You share as much information as you like about your family and then it stays there. We don't even do the AI transcribing.
Right.
That's something I think technology is great, but even with that, I know later on I could have those notes. But once we log up, I take my own old-fashioned notes, get your name, whatever, and then because someone actually brought that up. They were uncomfortable when it popped up on the screen. That saying it just automatically said that, and I was like, what does that mean? So we're all at different places, even with technology, and we have to respect that. So thank you so much, and I thank Regional Center for inviting us, I believe maybe the first support group, I'm not sure, for a podcast, and more to come. And so we'll see you all on March 4th at 6:30 p.m.
Hey, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.